Welcome everybody to another game here on Nexus. We have PFC, Korean's finest, playing as the KW faction. Already getting an SWS pack, that's super early. Very interesting. I think that he might be opting for a 2-1 opening here, and yes indeed, that's what we're going to see. Facing PFC we have stepha, which I believe is also known as JibberJabberJobber, I think, or something around that, like that. But yeah, we have the first couple of engagements here, and Jibber has gone for a very interesting build here. 3 engineers as Soviets. Opener, very rare to see something like this. We also have tier 2 up, so we got to see these Maxims opening fire. And these Sturm Pioneers are taking a lot of heat here in the opening segment of the game. And the 2-1 is in the build here. That's going to be very bad for Jibber. No snares for his combat engineer, so this car will just run circles around these Maxims, potentially. We do have a sneaky rogue Rambo engineer here, looking for some cutoffs, but was obviously interrupted trying to reach the northern cutoff, so he's going for the second best one. And this is also very nice for Jibber, actually. He's actually occupying this 300 manpower unit with 170 manpower. In the meantime, the rest of his units can just, advance while this Sturm Pioneer is off the skirmish, so to speak. And it's still being... Look at this! Very nice play, I think, from Jibber, and less so from PFC. But yeah, here comes the 2-1. 3 minutes into the game. And yeah, this Maxim is not going to have a good day here. Look at that damage, dude. Meanwhile, we have another Maxim coming out for Jibber. But he's still holding a decent amount of resources here. This Sturm Pio could be going for this cutoff, trying to take it out there, out of action. Meanwhile, we do have a Flamer being queued from this combat engineer in the garrison, so we'll most likely see a push here, but it will be interrupted by the 2-1. PFC is going for some long-term value here. And Flamer actually dealing a decent amount of damage to the 2-1 there. Quite interesting. Siskan now coming out for stepha, no further teching as of yet. He doesn't even have a heals yet, actually, but of course he's only fighting with combat engineers, so... We have Sanitap here telling us that flankers actually have a pen rate of 2. Not sure what rate means, I guess it's just the general penetration value, that's 2. I'd like to compare that to just normal smooth fire, but I guess it's probably different for different weapons there too. I know that the rare Echelon carbines actually have a very strong light vehicle matchup because of their damage on the carbines. It's just that in infantry engagements they have low accuracy. That's not relevant because the vehicles have such a large received accuracy in comparison to infantry. Just some interesting trivia for you all there. And then we go, Flak Half-Track is now in the build, but, stepha or Jibber already has the Siskan. He's trying to, push forward here. This is something you generally do see in the higher team game modes, where You have a lot of maxims and then you have a teammate supporting, but it is a lot harder to pull off in a 1v1 setting such as this one. 2-1 taking a lot of damage. Do have a sneaky flanking conscript here. Potentially could be rooting towards the center there, but going for the cutoff instead for some further resource harassment. Yeah, that's not going to be winning, but seems to be able to stay out of the reach of the false grenadier here. No, oof. Gets very low. We have some mines being planted. Here comes the flak off track. Sysgun slightly out of position. Maxim is forced away. And the T-70 is in the build for Jibber. Very nice. Still no healing, and of course no snares. I mean, he's no conscripts. Why would you ever take snares here? You know, that's some resources that you actually save with a conscript free build, right? You don't have to put those resources into the side tech.
The enemy is taking what we have secured. Light tank ready for orders. The enemy is encroaching on our territory.
Sysgun is in position, though I think that's slightly outside of range there. You have the support coming in to save this Sysgun. Sweepers out for the Stern Pioneer, spotting that mine right there. Here comes the T-70, delivering some heavy blows. So we see a Raketen instantly picked up from PFC. And 2-1 is now a 2-3, and he started to use that lockdown ability, giving him extra resources. I wouldn't mind seeing that being used on the Muni point, but I guess PFC might find it a bit too risky. And oh, T-70 almost got snared there. Flak now setting up in front of the Sysgun. Connects the first shot, need one more. This Maxim is flanked, but sets up in a very interesting position here. The T-70 is arriving to support. Here comes the Raketen though. If that T-70 gets snared, it could be in trouble. Manages to stay just outside of range there. As there is finally some map control coming in for Jibber, being quite far behind here. Finally we have healing at the 10-minute mark. Ooh, how did they get that suppression? Jibber is not using the sustained fire. This is actually a very strong ability though for a machine gun. It's definitely one of the stronger ones in my opinion. It basically makes it become a Dushka for 10 munitions. And it has a way larger AoE suppression radius.
Guard rifle infantry squads can now be called to fight for the motherland. KV-1 heavy tank ready to join the fight. Engineers are ready to build tank traps and obstacles, comrade. Enemy forces are neutralizing a sector.
Combat engineer taking a lot of damage there. There we go, first connection on the T-70. That's now at Vet 1. Meanwhile, the flak has got quite some more damage to deal before it reaches there. But of course, it was already countered once it entered the field with the Sysgun there, so it's a bit rougher for PFC, trying to get some value out of his. What is that? This Maxim sitting atop of a mine there, not something you want to see, but very easily done. And this could be huge actually! Whew. Could have taken out the combat engineers there if the mine blew up, but PFC did at least spot it, so he can remove it safely. The Stern Pioneer is flanking this Maxim, forcing it away. Raket then repositioning, but has to pass through the machine gun field before he can do so. Siskan about to open fire here. Misses. Maxim does get flanked in the center. As the T-70 is now in trouble, Raketen opens fire, now in lethal range. And Siskan completely unprotected. And it does go down. We see here guards being picked up from stepha, Jibber. And picking a guard rifle combined arms tactics. Might be opting for a heavy stall here for the KV1, so we might see another Siskan picked up as well before we go tier 4. But yeah. Here comes the guards. Meanwhile, PFC opting for a tech up, it seems. SWS truck is in the build as well as an MG34. We might be seeing the efficiency of Jibber's MGs and, you know, opts for one himself. So we now have a large advance here on the south. I do wonder if PFC is going to go an aggressive tier 4 here. We've seen that a lot from some of the Korean players, but not quite sure if PFC is one of them.
Supply sector under attack.
Lots of damage being traded here. MG trying to stop the advance, but getting suppressed by PFC's MG34. And Raketen is dealing with the T-70 from a distance. I do like what Jibber's doing here, pushing up aggressive with his sweeping combat engineer. That way he can spot any of the mines while he's backcapping with the rest of his forces. Very nice. This makes him not sure where it's headed, and there we have the SWS truck. Could see an aggressive position here, I suppose, covering the cutoff. Not quite sure where he is headed.
Supplies to the enemy.
Engagements happening all over the place here. Jibber trying to hold firm. Combat engineer getting very low here though. Could potentially get wiped unless the Maxim suppression goes in. Doesn't hit in time. So the 3 engineers are now 2. Tier 4 is up though. Of course defending the Schwer. We also have the tier 4.5 hitting. Known as the Panzer Authorization. Stopping any cheeky movements from the T-70. Jibber just having quite a rough time here. He is taking up to tier 4 himself. So seemingly no Siskan before a vehicle here. Could be going straight for a T-44-76. No, never mind. We do see the Siskan in protection in production from Jibber. So that is happening. KV1 most likely to follow. I do like that. I think it's definitely the correct approach here. KV1 doing very well versus the Axis factions because of the love for the Panzer IV, which we already see in Q, and the KV1 just being one of the best Panzer IV counters in the game. Oh, and T-70 going for a dive here, but the Schwer is covering it. This could be a disaster. Goes down. So does the Raketen, but the flak survives, even though we have the IL-2 strafe coming in here, which is what took out the Raketen. Nice play from Jibber. Imagine if it just stayed behind this shrubbery here. That way you could have, you know, stayed outside line of sight of the Schwer, dealing some damage, but a real miscalculation from Jibber there, which did save PFC. And we see one burst! Flag contract goes in. What was PFC thinking? Disaster there from, I'd say, both players. But here we go. Panzer IV is on the field, already getting that Panzer Commander upgrade, which, you know, gives that increased vision as well as stronger accuracy. And you of course also get access to the off-map light artillery barrage, which works very nice versus 80 guns. Meanwhile, Jibber, of course, opting for that KV1 as previously mentioned, just doing so well versus Panzer IVs, so really looking forward to seeing this. Meanwhile, we have another SWS truck from PFC. Could potentially be going for that King Tiger, which works very nice with this doctrine. Simply because of the heat rounds, and you have the repairs, and of course, you know, Panzer Commander. Just making it a very sound choice. King Tiger otherwise I found to be very underwhelming unless you have this doctrine, so I wouldn't call this super reasonable, but I think it's okay from PFC. And here we have, I think, a Syscan barrage, yes indeed, on the MG34. Meanwhile, Stalin's finest KV1 entering the battlefield here of Nexus. Ooh, huge hits on that Maxim here. Panzer IV staying out. Of course, PFC hears the KV1 coming from the fog of war, and it's going to make just smash through PFC's lines here. He of course has the IL-2 strafe ready once again if that pesky Raketen shows up. So I wouldn't mind Jibber just going straight for it here, you know, just drive forward, just charge. He should be able to come out on top unless he gets extremely unlucky. PFC trying to sweep the mines here, but accidentally actually hits it once his folks are close by. Bit unfortunate there though, he's trying his best to minimize the damage he's taking. And here comes the second Sys. When I see this I usually think of a tier 4 push here, so Jibber might be looking to dislodge the PFC's teching. But of course, as a viewer, we guys know here that since he went for mechanized, a King Tiger is probably already what PFC is going for. So losing the tier 4 wouldn't actually hurt him that much. Oh, and here we see the commander off-map ability used on the Maxim. It doesn't have a super long range, but he moved up in order to reach the Maxim up there. So very nicely done, I think. It costs 80 munitions, and it's not called the light artillery, it's called a coordinated barrage, my bad.
forces are capturing our supplies.
See a assist barrage attempt here, but it is blocked. And oh, engineers goes down. Panzer IV finishing off that structure, basically burying the engineers within the cellar of that garrison. Second rocket now for PFC, trying to survive until that King Tiger hits, which is going to take approximately 2, maybe 6-7 minutes more for PFC. Yo, cheers Inca for the raid. And here we have Panzer IV just keeps, you know, probing, looking for openings over and over, trying to stay as active as possible to deal as much damage as possible. I wish Jibber could be a bit more active with the KV-1 here. I mean, he's kind of given away the window of opportunity here, because there could be a second vehicle coming for him, so I understand that he's playing a bit more cautious here. But, you know, from getting it, he could have definitely potentially done some more work with it. And oh wait, he seems to be going for the 2-2-3 here. PFC of course realizes before I do and gets out of there. That's why I'm casting and he is playing. And Sis Barrage and the MG34 taking out half HP. We'll see one more. But no direct hit, so does manage to get out of there. 2-3 now hidden behind the defense of the Schwer. As we also see actually the emergency repairs used here from PFC. A bit odd, you know, when he has the Sturmpan here and it's not like in kill range and, you know, it's not that much tempo to lose to repair it, but I guess he's floating a lot and he wants to make use of it. Could also see the Scavenge being used here to salvage some resources to get that King Tiger slightly faster. It's the KV-1 taking a lot of heat here. Not literally though, heat rounds are actually not used just yet. And we have a second KV-1 from Jibber. Okay, expecting multiple Panzer IVs then I assume, but of course we know that's not happening. And the Panzer IV here just staying active. I do like it. I do like it. Now at Vet 1 as well, having access to that Blitzkrieg ability. Now we see the coordinated artillery going in once again on the Maxim. Basically removing the support from the Sis gun here. If PFC had a follow-up, you know, that's quite an isolated unit. If he had an infantry follow-up. So that's definitely something I personally look for when I use off maps. You know, to try to remove support like that. It's basically like chess. And we see PFC in a very defensive position here. I think it's just waiting for that King Tiger and it does not want to overextend before it is on the field, so I think that's a very solid option. Not quite sure what Jibber is looking for. He's probably just, you know, happy with the current state of affairs here, holding 2 VPs and, you know, just holding the line here. Could potentially be looking for a counter push once that Axis charge happens, so we do of course have the IL-2 strafing run ready for him. But here we go, King Tiger entering. I wonder if he's going Panzer Commander on this too. Yes, of course he is. Why am I even asking? You want that extra vision and accuracy. So very nice. Heat round of course available as well. as the coordinated artillery. And here we go, the IL-2 strafe is coming in. Did PFC notice? It seems he did. Whew. Imagine if Jibber put it in like this as well. It would have, you know, followed the retreat path there. Definitely something you want to be looking for with the strafes. And bounces all over the place. No heat rounds used as of yet, even though PFC has the munitions here, so I guess PFC is just looking to force away Jibber, not to kill anything. There we go, coordinated artillery used on the Sysgun, and as well on the Panzer, from the Panzer IV on the second Sysgun. Jibber reacting to the first one, seems to be seeing the second one as well, saving both units there from annihilation. But you know, once again, when you use this kind of off maps, why is the King Tiger reversing? If he simply moves up together with the barrage, that means Sysgun either needs to move, which then gets it blasted by the King Tiger, or it stays shooting at the King Tiger, but then it gets blasted by the artillery. So I think it's a bit of missed opportunities here from PFC. I think he should be a bit more aggressive when he uses these off maps. You know, use them in conjunction with a push. Don't use them isolated and then, you know, pull in after. King Tiger in a very exciting position. We also have Katusha out for Jibber. Most likely we'll be looking for those Raketans. The other KV-1 is now Vet-1 as well, giving access to the hull down ability. Oh! Folks barely making it out of there alive. Guess Jibber didn't have the patience to wait for a better target, you know, just might as well smack it down there. Get some veterancy, and you know, the Katusha reload time isn't too long, so just keeping that thing active. Very smart choice. Well, I also have a third Sysgun here for Jibber. Not quite sure why, actually. Could be an Su-85 save here, you know, it's about a minute away, fuel-wise. So, not quite sure. Also kind of, you know, it plays into the abilities that PFC has access to. But he might just be fearing the heat rounds on the Su-85 a bit too much here. Whatever the case, a third Sysgun is the play from Jibber. Oof. Panzer IV almost just one-tapping that combat engineer there, trying to repair the KV-1. Meanwhile, both barrages ready to go here. I mean, look at Jibber's position here, just waiting for PFC to overextend essentially. Almost has access to the IL-2 strafe once again, and Katusha should be ready to go in a second as well, making those Raketans lifespan potentially very short. Also very efficient here with the mining. KV-1 looking for a flank on the Raketan here. And here comes the Katusha. Going down on the Raketan, but complete horrible spread here all over the place. Actually takes it out though, who am I kidding? Just that scatter there from the Katusha. The bounces across the field here for Jibber. I really think a Su-85 would have been perfect here. He could have been, you know, self-spotting with it. We'll see though. He's fully pop capped now, so he can't quite get one anymore. But He might be trading one of his vehicles for one. Or one of his units rather. Here we see another coordinated barrage on the Maxim. Jibber just realizes, forcing it to retreat to get out of there. Meanwhile, this guard's just charging up. Grenade on the Raketen. And they are clumped up! Immediately deleted. Imagine if they could just reverse instead. But you know, not having access to reverse just means the Raketen is dead. Trash 80 gun gone for PFC. Could potentially be using some more tracking here as well to, you know, just keep sneaking up. It does have the Maxim support, I presume. Good evening, Chagota and the Hack Musician. Hope you're all doing fine. Katusha now ready once again.
Our territory is falling into enemy hands.
This King Tiger looking for a different angle here to attack Jibber. We have the coordinated barrage once again. Should be pushing in with this, in my opinion. Could have also pushed in to begin with and then put, you know, artillery behind somewhere. I don't know, just wish he was a bit more combined here. Or using the off maps in conjunction. I think that's what you should be looking for. But, you know, PFC, he has a huge bank of munitions, so it's not a huge waste. He'll have another one in 1.5 minutes, so... Especially with that 52 munitions income per minute. And yeah, Jibber being quite efficient here with the mining, as previously mentioned, means there's really much PFC can do here. He needs to be fighting for the center. Unless he brings his sweeper, so... I just wished, you know, Jibber should have been a bit more aggressive here. Floating this much usually means you're not aggressive enough in my book. Because if you're floating, you can afford to, you know, replenish losses, right? So if you're aggressive, that way you can replenish while your opponent might not be able to. That's always what you should be looking for. I'm not saying to, you know, take inefficient engagements, but... There's definitely an advantage to being the attacking player. Yeah, horrible catty barrage there. Folks walking on a mine, which is just gonna stop PFC's forces here. He's not gonna move one step further without a sweeper. I'm not quite sure where it's positioned either. Here we come, KV1 for a rare probe. Triple bounce there on the King Tiger. MG34 goes down for PFC. I mean, if this isn't an excellent choice to push, then I don't know when is, you know? You seize the Raketen retreat as well. Yeah, King Tiger here, we see the heat rounds being used as well as the spearhead mode. So that's... That KV1 is just running for its life essentially, back to the safety of the mines. The King Tiger can't seem to connect. We did see the firing positions being used here from the guards, making them extremely efficient in their engagements, gives them accuracy as well as extra range. So with the firing positions you can actually outrange other infantry, which is quite hilarious. And we have a Sturm Tiger for PFC! Maxim running away! Blowing as well up that mine there. We have a KV1 flanking the King Tiger here. Meanwhile, the coordinated barrage used on the Sys gun, stopping them from advancing. And Katusha here could potentially hit the Stern Pioneer. But yeah, interesting spread here. Katusha not really paying off so far. He's had it for quite some time, and it's still not Vet 1 to get access to that creeping barrage ability. Yeah, I'm really a bit surprised here how slow Jibber is playing. I think, you know, just... He has such a strong army composition here. Just, you know, concentrating his forces in the center, and surely he would come out on top, I feel. Now reaching 1000 manpower and 300 fuel here.
Supply sector under attack.
Storm Tiger now ready to fire once again. Taking a look at PFC's line of sight here, you can see that the King Tiger gives quite the vision radius. With the use of Spearhead as well as the commander, Panzer Commander upgrade. Well, Saraketten go down there to the Katusha. Still not Vet 1 though. Oh, there we go. With that hit on the King Tiger, it does reach Vet 1. Very nice. That's what he wants to see. So we see the guards firing positions once again, making them very efficient. Good to see PFC, oh, sorry, going in for some more coordinated artillery barrages. The foes are getting very low here. Quite sure if PFC are sacrificing. No, he's not. PFC not looking for any sacrifice at this point. Of course, having the repairs now as well on the mechanized, speeding up the process even further. Huge hit there from the King Tiger. Very nice attack round through the shrubbery. Second shot, however, hit some sort of pole. And I'm not talking about the nationality. But yeah, at this point I feel like Jibber's army is just, you know, it's inefficient because he's not being aggressive with it. When heat round goes in on the KV-1, now within kill range, needs to get out of there, but he is seemingly stuck on that electric cage behind him. Katusha moving up, ready to fire. Storm Tiger getting very low. We finally see that Su-85 I spoke of earlier. Huge barrage there. No further follow-up though. Oh, the King Tiger drives on a mine here, but you know, no Su-85 yet for Jibber, and all his sys guns are way out of position, so... And honestly, I'm not even sure if he would go in here if he was in position. He's played so cautiously this entire game, and I'm not quite sure why. I'm not sure what Jibber is fearing. You know, with this huge backup of resources, he could really be making the the deciding moves here, but seems he's happy with the state of affairs for some strange reason. Is that the DP going down? Yes, indeed. Could potentially see the Stern Pioneer picking that one up. Whoa! Huge Sturm Tiger shot there. Taking out that Sys gun. Could be using the planes here to just get rid of some of these support weapons, but... Su-85 of course now on the field. Just trying to do something with these Foes Grenadiers, but keep walking the mines and that barrage scatter though. Squad being here and the rockets hitting everywhere but on the squad. Quite unfortunate. And just very slow reaction there from Jibber, almost getting snared there. It could have been the death sentence for the Su-85 with the King Tiger approaching as well. Barrage, of course, ready once again. Oh, I don't really like that garrison there, but we'll see. You know, there's a Stern Tiger on the field. Could just get instantly removed. Does reposition it after secondary thoughts, I'm assuming. Take a look at the Fog of War once again. For PFC, you can see that Panzer Commander really giving some extra range here, or vision. Makes it a bit easier to play in these later game scenarios. We saw the IL-2 being used here, but that felt like a really desperate move. Now we see the coordinated barrage once again used from the Panzer IV. Katusha almost ready to fire again. Of course, Vet 1 now has access to the creeping barrage. I am wondering if we'll see it used here. That shot from the King Tiger. Sturm Tiger looking to take it out, it seems, with the grenade ability used here. But misses the one shot, and here goes... No, not taking a shot attempt at the Sys gun there. Could see it now though. We have some very nice targets here for the Sturm Tiger. And yes indeed, King Tiger coming in as well, coordinated barrage ready. Sys gun dodged however. That King Tiger is just delivering some heavy damage. This is what happens when you leave them unchecked. And King Tiger, or KV1 here, taking in a lot of shots, heat round Panzer IV with the Raketen support. Not quite sure why that KV1 was sitting stationary there for that long, but we did see also the coordinated artillery coming in here. Dodged once again by Jibber though, actually really looking out for those. Another Su-85 is the option here, realizing the armor is becoming a bit too much for Jibber. Even though he has 3 Sys guns and an Su-85. That is the second, or the next pick here. But I mean, at this point, does it even matter if he takes them out? The resource float for PFC has now catched up to Jibber. He's lost the momentum. If Jibber went aggressive earlier, PFC would not have this bank to get his units back. But now that he does... Just Jibber playing straight into PFC's build here, I think. Oof. Sturm Tiger shot nearly missed there, but the engineer did retreat in time. As As we are reaching the 50-minute mark, PFC has 180 VPs remaining, meanwhile Jibber 300. It's slowly going down. Guard taking a lot of heat here. Here comes the second SU-85 as well. I would like to see him, you know, being aggressive here, probing with the focused sight. And if you see the Raketten, for instance, you know, save up the Katusha and then you attack at the same time while focusing the Raketten. I really think that's the play here. As we see one volley hitting the King Tiger, second one bouncing. Sturm Tiger seemingly ready to fire, but of course Jibber has that focused sight being used, giving him a lot of information here. Raketten going down to the Maxim Hellfire. There we have Sturm Tiger firing. Dodged by Jibber. What is this? Is this an M5? Yes, indeed. Using it for reinforcement here. Also interesting, with this doctrine, Jibber could opt for some bunkers if he wanted to. For instance, on the south. But here we go, Jibber finally making use of his abilities here. You know, probing with the focused sight. Just keep moving, there's nothing here. Keep moving until you find him, you know. Like, why stop here when you know there's nothing until here, you know? Just keep moving forward with the probe. I definitely think that's the play here. Oof, folks almost getting a flank in. And there we go, finally Jibber waking up here. Starts to probe a bit. This is definitely what you want to see here. Also, of course, you're supporting your Maxims with this vision from the SU-85. As this guard, or this KV-1, is buttoned by the guards. SU-85 turning around, almost going down there, but 4 Panzer IV goes down to the Syscan. That now hits Vet 3. Meanwhile, Sturm Tiger and King Tiger now almost fully repaired at least, charging in. And we had the Panther for a second there for PFC, but he cancels it for double Raketten. Probably thinking that Jibber has so much AT that you do not want the Panther. Here we go, PFC charging through here with the coordinated barrage. Finally in somewhat of a coordinated manner. King Tiger almost going down though. SU-85 is going in for the kill. Bouncing the killing blow there. Using focused sight to try to get the last vision. And a tank ground attempt is made, but it misses. Now the second heavy tank is now in trouble. Double SU-85 keeps probing forward with the focused sight. We also have a Katusha going for the repair seemingly. Needs one more connection. Misses. You also see the creeping barrage here used from Jibber. Taking out, dealing damage, and then killing a Raketten. Quite strong use there. Meanwhile, Jibber just reinforcing up the front line. Could just be shooting here while repairing. And here comes the second Raketten, of course. The first did get decrewed in the north, but the second is looking for that SU-85 seemingly. Maxim turned the wrong direction here. This could be a disaster for Jibber. Volksgrenadiers just going down on the infantry. We also have the IL-2 strafe coming in once again. Raketten in trouble. Almost gets deleted there, but I think the retreat bonuses saves it. Just such a concentration of forces here. Pretty much 4v4 style from Jibber. Makes it very hard for a faction such as OKW to really display this without using something like strong off maps or similar. And here we have the Katusha firing once again. Is this on the base? Never mind, it was on the machine gun. Could potentially go down here if this is a creeping barrage. Yes, it is. It's just following the machine gun. Bit of a poor spread there though, but there is more rockets coming in. Not quite sure how that was aligned. Looked like something like this. Could have, you know, been following retreat path, but maybe expected PFC to soft retreat in order to dodge the Katusha. And then I actually think this would be the natural pattern you would go for, so I don't hate it.
The enemy is encroaching on our territory.
Ooh, Raketten opens up a volley there. Su-85 in kill range, needs 2 more connections. Raketten's moving up, knowing there is a window here. Katusha just fired, so no Katusha available. Not getting the killing blow, and they're now standing in front of the Maxims. As the King Tiger is now fully repaired and ready to dance once again. Storm Tiger repaired, and I think Jibber kind of missed an opportunity to delete these fortifications here. Not that it would really do that much, but I mean, there is no reason not to, right? As we see another Katusha here just instantly deleting the Raket, and meanwhile the King Tiger is just taking some heavy blows. And the Folk's just trying to make an advance here. And here you once again, you know, see the Katusha creeping barrage, since it is so accurate. Just use it like this, and you know the first volley is going to hit here, and it's always point blank accurate, pretty much no matter what range you are. So just very nice utilization there from Jibber. And you know, PFC not making any progression here essentially. Jibber just keeps reinforcing on the front lines, holding it intact, sitting on the center VP. And even though, you know, PFC has the strongest breakthrough tools OKW has access to, it's simply not even budging Jibber's Soviet army here.
Are attempting to capture our territory.
Oof. What was that? Did that do half damage? No way, that Su-85 was already damaged, right? I'm pretty sure. Because there was no heat round used there. Oh, and Katusha takes out another infantry squad. Just killing everything now.
Capturing our supplies.
What do you need?
Awaiting command. Off track here.
Storm Tiger once again looking for an opportunity here. Siskan in trouble. Could just have moved forward, to be honest. I mean, it's just going to be aiming behind him anyway, right? So could have just moved forward and get as many shots in as possible with the other weaponry. Storm Tiger almost goes down though, seemingly gets away. Jibber not going for the killing blow with the Su-85. One of the disadvantages to fighting from this platform is actually that you can't get the killing blow because you can't traverse forward from it. Making it, in my opinion, a poor choice for tank destroyers. You'd much rather want them on the sides, because then you can actually get the killing blows.
We are losing supplies to the enemy.
Katusha there just one-hitting the Stern Pioneer, removing a large portion of PFC's repairs. Ace Hyra says, you think you can? No, you cannot traverse these platforms with vehicles. You can't. You literally can't traverse these platforms with vehicles. Meaning you can't move up and get the killing blow on vehicles. So that's why I find them to be bad for tank destroyers in general. Kobolwagen can? I'm actually not sure if Kobold can go through here. I doubt it, but it's possible, maybe. Yeah, Siscans here, actually unsupported. Where did all the Maxim go? We have one setting up here. But Jibber needs to be pulling those back. What is he doing? M5 goes down, no more forward reinforcement. This is the opportunity PFC is looking for. Could just be charging way through here. We see coordinated barraging happening on the Maxim, which is going to give a window for the Raketans to move up, and we might see a snare here on Su-85. Katusha opening fire though, Maxim goes down to coordinated barrage. Raketans running for their lives. Another hit on the Siscans. Vet for King Tiger, taking quite some heat here. But that was a major blow for PFC, and now Jibber's resourcement bank has just disappeared. There's nothing left for him, except for that freshly rebuilt Su-85 in queue. Thank you very, very much, Dutchman, for the raid there. Hope you had a good stream. Meanwhile, PFC rebuilding his repairs. I'm not sure if I agree with this completely. He already has the forward repairs as well as the ability, so I don't know, a bit strange decision. Oh, this is a greedy Maxim here, setting up in front of the Over Squad. Here comes the Storm Tiger once again. Cheated death, I think, 4 or 5 times this game. And yeah, I'm not sure anymore who has the advantage here. I think Jibber has just kept throwing this game since the 20-minute mark. Very, very strange game, indeed. And here we go, PFC fully repaired, once again, ready to go. And here comes the Katusha, not saving it, but oh, huge here, creeping barrage used, once again, just making it so accurate, killing everything. And people asking me, how do your Katushas become so good? You get to vet 1 and then you just start spamming the creeping barrage. It's actually ridiculous how strong this ability is. Actually ridiculous. Here we have a huge battery of AT firing down on the King Tiger, but the Raketan is returning some fire. Meanwhile, Jibber trying desperately to reinforce on the front lines. Raketan needs one more connection on the Su-85, gets it. Jibber just sitting in the line of fire. M5 takes a hit as well. Needs one more follow-up shot. Won't get it though. Raketan forced retreat actually goes down to the flamethrower. But so does the vet free engineer. Jibber can't afford to lose this. It's his only repair. does make it out there alive. That would be a huge blow otherwise. But now, King Tiger in trouble. Su-85 probing with the focus sight as well as the tracking ability. Stern Pioneer might look to recrew here just to get a couple shots in. Trying to force the Su-85. Needs one more connection. Could this be the end of the King Tiger? And it goes down. Jibber just making lemonade out of poop here. Not quite sure how he managed to get out ahead in that engagement. I'm still not even sure if he is ahead here. Just quite ridiculous. And once again, just the artillery of the Katusha killing all of stepha or PFC's units. And Su-85 finally being used aggressively from Jibber here, probing with the focused sight. Oh, could actually kill the Raketen if you started focus firing it earlier, I believe. But this guard squad just eating the German infantry for breakfast. Essentially standing their own ground for versus 3-4 infantry squads. Katusha almost ready to fire once again. We have a T-34 in the build for Jibber. Meanwhile, South is being captured by the Siskan. Jibber standing under a triple cap here the past couple of minutes, going down to 120 VPs. Actually surpassing PFC's VP point. Here we go, Katusha once again, and PFC is like done for. He's just insta-repairing everything, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at this point. Insta-retreat once you hear the rockets, and you're still dead. And yes, see this, it's creeping barrage pretty much every single time, and you can see how accurate these rockets are. Pretty much pinpoint blank. Or pretty much bullseye, I think you call it. I'm bad at English expressions, but... Here we go, T-34 is on the field. Meanwhile, PFC looking for another King Tiger, I believe. Saving up those resources. We have people in chat wondering why there's no KV-1, but I think the T-34 is a better choice here. KV-1 is another 150 manpower, which is essentially half another T-34. So I don't mind the T-34 being the pick here at all. Just making sure you control the outskirts of the map with the VPs. Of course, T-34s can also capture the VPs once they hit Vet 1, compared to the KV-1s, making them just very solid late game units here. Oof. Storm Tiger there, shooting at the guard squad. As you can see here, the T-34 just going back and forth between the outskirt VPs, going to make sure that they're held under control here by Jibber. I think it's a much better choice than KV-1 in a situation like this. Because of this, you can stay so mobile, you have such a mobile force, you can just run back and forth, you know, and make sure that you're holding the sights. Meanwhile, PFC, you know, he needs to get a stronger unit just to keep this intact, in check. And that stronger unit might still not beat them. So, yeah, just really solid picks here from Jibber. But here we go, King Tiger is back from the dead. Meanwhile, this T-34 could just chase him all the way back to base. There's nothing stopping him. The King Tiger is up north. And we did have the quad coming out for Jibber. That might have been a misclick actually. I don't see why you would do this. I think you'd much rather have the forward reinforce, and these munitions I think are much better spent on mines and IL-2 strafes. So Here we go, Katusha coming in once again on the Raketten apparently, but I don't see that Raketten getting away from there anyway.
Victory is slipping from our grasp. We have only 50 points remaining.
Ooh, that Sis barrage just taking out 80% of that MG in the first shot there. You know, Sis barrage as being pretty much 4 bundle grenades that you throw at a super long distance, making Sis guns one of the best AT guns in the game. And what is this? Storm Tiger looking for a T-34. Almost gets it in the bullseye, but he at least gets the stun in. Could potentially be cleaned up by the King Tiger. You know, Storm Tiger is like, clean up on aisle 4! The King Tiger just showing up there with the heat broom, and the F5 goes down. Was that one hit? It looked like a one hit to me. I'm not sure though. Alright. Well, Katusha almost ready to fire, and you know, the base sector would be a prime target. He might just be saving it though.
We have an isolated sector.
It's aiming at this lone Flows Grenadier. T-34 could potentially be looking for some follow-up here. And yeah, I mean, this infantry is going to bleed versus this T-34. Look at that. Holding the sides here. Gets the snare, but, you know, he needs to bring the King Tiger to kill it, and King Tiger has 10,000 other tasks to do at this point. There we go, another T-34 for Jibber. What is this? The IL-2 strafe coming in. Oh! Doesn't actually kill the Flows Grenadier. Somehow it lives. Meanwhile, a bit unfortunate for Jibber up here. Probably using tac map. Didn't quite click atop the VP there, so not capturing. Meanwhile, Storm Tiger almost deleting the guards. Here we have a T-34 flanking the vet for Storm Tiger. Raketten stolen. Coming up as well. King Tiger getting dived. Where is that Su-85? He needs to be supporting here. But the T-34 could block the King Tiger. And yes, indeed, that's exactly what is happening. Could just ram this. It's not even necessary. King Tiger goes down to the mass T-34 and Raketten and Su-85 support. Meanwhile, another creeping barrage used here in the center to stop the Storm Pioneer capture. It's the train of T-34s are trying to leave the approaching Flows Grenadiers. And the Panther is now the pick for PFC. Can't wait 3 minutes for another King Tiger call in. He needs a vehicle now to clean up all these T-34s, but there's a 4th one in the build for Jibber. Oh! Storm Tiger finally getting those guards that he's been shooting at throughout the entire game there. Also, of course, using the grenade launchers there to remove the combat engineer. Now hits Vet 4 with 36 kills. And here you can see the T-34 finally capturing the center VP. Katusha ready to fire once again. 51 kills on that bad boy. Here comes the Panther, getting Panzer Commanders straight off the bat. And it's just going to clean up these T-34s. First one goes down. Meanwhile, Jibber, just sending all of his vehicles to kill this Panther, does not want to leave it unchecked. Could see it died from all angles. PFC needs to be careful though. There is mines here, but it's going for the Katusha. Finally gets the revenge on that, taking out all those units. Sturm Tiger wiping out the vet-free Raketten from Jibber in the center. Meanwhile, Panther now in a horrible position. Pretty much surrounded from all directions. But one of the T-34s goes down to I'm not quite sure what, to be honest. Oh no, Jibber missing quite a lot here. Can't get the killing blow and once again moves on up on this platform for absolutely no reason. Meaning he can't follow up on the Panther and can't kill it. And it seems PFC is not out yet, he just keeps trying to capture as much as possible. 2 T-34s going down there for Jibber. Getting PFC right back, and there we go, Sturm Tiger firing once again. It's Vet 5 taking out that combat engineer. And there's only one capping squad left for Jibber. Unless this T-34 gets to Vet 1. He has 18 VPs remaining. About to become a triple capture here. Could this be game? Needs to kill these units. Doesn't get it. Doesn't hit Vet 1 either. Needs to just go south and capture. Meanwhile, Panther repaired using the repairs. We see heat rounds being deployed as well. But there is no time. And PFC somehow miraculously wins this game. I'm not even sure how this happened. What was this? What was this match? GG, well played though, highly entertaining and very strange builds from Jibber here. Very fun to watch, I must say. But yeah, here you have the stats. 130,000 damage for Jibber in this 1 hour and 13 minute game. Just ridiculous on all levels. Check it, was it the MG34? The MG34 is not alive anymore, sadly. So I cannot check that. I'm not at all sure what killed this T-34. It could have been a mine, I'm not sure. And I mean, the MG34 wasn't set up when the T-34 went down as well, right? He was just running there. So it cannot have been the T-34 or the MG34. I think it must have been a mine. I don't see anything else killing it.